I would like to say a few words about my next guest, my first guest tonight. And I'm going to do it now rather than when he's out here because I don't want to sound like a gushing schoolgirl. But in my opinion, he is probably the best singer of popular songs in the last 2 decades. He's been at it for 40 years. And those of us who were around when he first started can remember the hysteria and the electricity when he would appear anyplace. And it was genuine. And it's amazing that 40 years later, he still has that kind of adulation and professional performance. He's I guess, a controversial personality. And there are only probably a few people in our business professionally who can walk into a room or walk on a stage and people stop and know that you're in the room. I think he's a consummate artist, and I'm glad he is here tonight. Would you welcome Frank Sinatra?
I've been alive forever, and I sang the very first song. I put the words and the melodies together. I am music, and I sing the songs. I sing the songs, make the whole world sing. I sing the songs of love and special things. I sing the songs that make the young girls cry. Sing the songs, sing the songs. My home is deep within you, and I've got my own place in your soul. Now when I look out through your eyes, I am young again, even though I'm growing old. I sing the songs that make the whole world sing. I sing the songs of love and pretty things. I sing the songs that make some young girls cry. I sing the songs, I sing the songs. Music will make you dance, get your spirit to take a chance. The music's from your heart, it's a real fine way to start. It's from me, it's to you, it's from you, it's to me, it's a real live symphony. I sing the songs that make the whole world sing. I sing the songs of love and special things. I sing the songs that make some young girls cry. I sing the songs, I sing the songs. I sing, and the whole world sings. I sing the songs of love and lovely things. I sing the songs that make the young girls cry. I sing the songs, I sing the songs. I am music, and I sing the songs. Listen, there's a lady turtle out in the hall. Want to know if dinner is still on.
Am I going to have to put up with this every 14 years? You barging in here like this and singing a song? God, it's great to have you here.
Thank you, John.
I really mean it. It's so strange sitting here, watching you sing over there for what we pay You know, I said, my God, that's Frank Sinatra. Well, $320. How would you like it, Frank? Large bills?
Dimes.
Dimes?
Dimes.
Who gives you dimes?
Everybody.
That's an old joke.
Yes.
How you feeling?
I couldn't be better. I couldn't be happier. And I couldn't be younger.
Yeah. You know, somebody asked you that the other night because you were married recently, and you said, hey, all of a sudden, everything's
Came together, yeah.
came together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really delighted. She's a marvelous girl.
Yes, she is.
She's a lovely lady. And everything's been so wonderful in the past few months. We've been on the road a great deal, doing a lot of one-nighters and concerts. And the audiences have been, it's hard to explain how truly wonderful they are. It's almost like a renaissance that happened years ago. I mean, and I noticed that when we're working around, you get closer, obviously, to the people. And I noticed the age difference is quite interesting. I mean, there are youngsters in there who are 13 and 14 years old, and then there are the older folks who came to the Paramount Theater when they had the short socks.
Remember those days? Pandemonium in the aisles.
Oh, yes.
That's great. A few years ago, you said you kind of retired, and all of a sudden now you're back at it.
Oh, I meant it, though,
goodness.
John. I meant it. I did. I really meant it. I had a great time for 2 years.
Did you get bored?
No, I didn't get bored. No, I really didn't. I did nothing. I wanted to do nothing after 32 or 33 years of working. I thought to myself, gee, it'd be nice to not have to get up in the morning and do that kind of jazz and so on and so forth. But then we got a great deal of pressure, not only from my own people, but my own family. And a lot of mail started coming in. And I tell you how interestingly wise the public is. They said, a couple of hundred letters said, well, why don't you at least make an album? I mean, there's nobody in the studio except you and the band, they said, because they thought I wanted to get away from the people. And they said, it made sense. They said, just at least make us an album, even if you don't want to come out in public anymore. So I said, well, what the hell, I might as well go out and go to work again. And I'm enjoying it immensely, I really am.
I'm glad you came out of retirement.
Had a big disappointment this week.
We have we got to do a commercial occasionally,
I understand
to
that.
get your fee for this.
Oh, absolutely.
Also to get my fee for this. And we'll do this, and we'll be right back. There we are. We are back. Thank you, Doctor. We're talking with Frank. We have David Jansen with us tonight, Olivia Newton-John, Ray Johnson. You have a tendency to make the papers frequently, Frank.
Oh, I've been known to get my name in a few stories here and there.
Periodicals. But I think in the past 6 months, the biggest thing was when you appeared on the Jerry Lewis's telethon and walked out with Dean Martin. And apparently, I don't know how deep that feud was, but apparently they had not really talked.
20 years old.
20 years, and they hadn't really.
Old, yeah.
How'd that come about?
Well, I called. I dreamed up the whole thing myself, and I called Drunky one day, and through his interpreter, I asked him, would he like to do the telethon for the kids, that Jerry does? And he said, sure, pal. And I almost fell down because he didn't bat one eyelash. He said, I'll be there. And he showed up. And it all turned out very nicely. I thought it was time that they at least spoke, And I was very disappointed, however, when later I saw the Nobel Peace Prizes being given out, So what's wrong with me?
They didn't give one this year, did they?
You think that's easy to do, to get those two idiots together?
Do they still communicate now? I mean, is that kind of over?
I imagine that they're talking to each other anyway. Yeah. Jerry, of course, is in New York. He's going to do Hellzapop, and I read in one of the trades. Yeah.
Did you ever have a feud going with anybody for that length of time?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, my feuds last about 2 minutes.
You're quick to anger, but also you're quick to get it out, aren't you?
That's true. Yeah. I guess we're just born that way. Some guys are, some guys aren't. You know what I mean? And there you are.
Well, the press occasionally, seem to always print the things that make good copy, or they think make good copy. They very, very seldom print, and I don't say this because you're here, because I don't have to puff you up at all, but they never mention the things that entertainers do for charity and raising money for boys' clubs and hospitals and that set up, but they always do if you're in some kind of if you happen to brush somebody leaving a bar or something like that.
Well, I've never done anything like that.
No, just... Or, I think...
If I'm going to brush anybody, he's going to get knocked down.
I think... And I think the time you drove over the welcome wagon lady, I think that should have been covered. I mean, that's news, you know. Hey, you got to now give you an indication of what he does. I know Sunday night's a big night at the Century Plaza for you because you're receiving the award from the Friends of the Hebrew University.
Scopus Award.
The Scopus Award, and that's...
It's a wonderful honor, and I'm really getting a boot out of the idea. Because last year, I was the presenter, and the great maestro, Arthur Rubinstein, was the recipient. And,
right.
and a couple of months ago, when they called me and said, would you consent to accept the award, I nearly broke the guy's arm, so it didn't get away from me, you know. And I'm really honored and thrilled about it, because they're a great organization. They do a lot of good work. It's a great school. It's a wonderful university.
Those are the kind of honors and awards you receive. They kind of make up for some of the other stuff that...
Yeah, well, the other stuff, as you said, is sensationalism, and they figure it sells copies, you know. What we really should do in our business is to get a piece of the action every time they do that. Get 2 or 3% of the paper for that day, see?
You'd be a rich man.
I would quit again. I'd get out again.
Just give me a piece of the scan.
Walk around and collect the money, that's all.
Tell me about I've been reading in about the Paul Key show, the Salute to John Wayne that's coming up, which I understand you MC.
Yeah, I was the kind of Toastmaster for a taping that we did last week. It was a testimonial to the big guy, the Duke. And all of his friends came, people with whom he worked in films and so on, and they saw the gals. And it was really a marvelous night, a very touching night. I think he was very touched, Duke was. And I had a great deal of fun because I was running from one set to another set because we did it at Warner's and on a soundstage. And it so happens that I brought along with me the cast.
Just a few nobodies showed up?
Few nobodies were there the other night. We had Charlie Bronson, John Biner, Glenn Campbell, Sammy Davis, Angie Dickinson, Marty Hall, Bob Hope, Ron Howard, Lee Marvin, Maureen O'Hara, Dan Roan, and Dick Martin, James Stewart, Claire Trevor, Henry Winkler, and me.
That's not a bad one.
Pretty good.
Have to interrupt again, but we're coming right back.
You have my permission.
Stay
Go
close.
right ahead.
Is it okay? Of course, I didn't check. We are back. Can I ask you a couple more questions? I know you got a recording session tonight. What's been the high point in your career? And everybody in our business have had low points. You've had them.
Well, I think it's very difficult, John, to pick one particular moment. I think to think of a couple of them right away would be obviously winning the Academy Award for Eternity.
From Here to Eternity.
And then being a part of a film called Man with the Golden Arm, which I thought was
a milestone.
Was a milestone in the picture business. In personal appearances, of course, working any saloon is a high point for me. I just love to get out on stage and work in the saloon.
Yeah.
And see the people. I think it's marvelous. And the saloons, I call them saloons, but I mean clubs, everybody's so close to us all the times. And even, for instance, tonight, it was fun coming here because I ran into people that I haven't seen because there are so many TV shows being done at the same time. And Mr. Fox, who's working next door, the garbage dealer, the junk man, he said to me, "Hey, baby, you want to go to Plains next Sunday with me to the church?" He said, "We go down there." He did. He said, "Because I'm the only colored man I know who don't want to sit in the back of heaven." He's funny. Oh, he's funny.
I grew up with you, listened to your music, in high school and so forth. It just occurred to me, crazy thought this afternoon. When you're in a romantic mood, and you're trying to make out, whose records do you put on? I've spent a lot of nice evenings listening to your music, and I just wonder who Frank listens to.
Oh, I play Jerry Fail or some of those.
Interesting concept.
Yes, it is. But I can answer that by telling you that in those lovely moments, I play Daphnis and Chloe, or the Sunken Cathedral, the Engulfed Cathedral, all that kind of classy jazz.
High-class
I don't
stuff,
fool around with all that other stuff. Because...
Hey, look, I know you're going to do another number with the band because I know you got a recording session tonight, and really, on behalf...
goes the evening.
Gee, you look
Hello.
good, Don.
Well, that's it for me. Why don't you guys get with the band? Hey, Frank, it's good to see you. I just was hanging around in the hall, and they said Frank Sinatra's here, and I've never met him, you know. And I get the
You'll
chill.
excuse us, won't you?
Certainly,
Don?
certainly.
Marco Mangananzo was hurt.
Marco Mangananzo?
Fambino Bombazzo. 2 bullets in the head Thursday. Now this you don't believe. Excuse us, Johnny. You're from the Midwest. You're busy going, is the truck loaded? Guido says hi. He hasn't had a chance to talk to you. And from Jersey City, your good friend, Bubani Umbazzo.
What's
He
his
started
alias?
his car. He started his car with your album on, and now he's a highway.
Oh, that's funny.
But I tell you, I'm a Jew and you're an Italian, and here we have what? And this is a great Irishman. This is America.
Yes.
That's true.
And that's why I just want to say, before we go any further, for 14 years, Johnny Carson kept saying, do you really know Frank? And I want you to know, Frank, I worship you and I love you. I really mean this, because since I'm a kid, I used to blow in girls' ears and hear you go, la-da-da-dee, and do it my way. I need a girl so bad. I love my wife, but she's ill. But you just got married, Frank. I just can't picture him on the wedding night standing in the room going, and did it all, and I suppose it's my way. And Barbara, his wife, is going, Frank, when you get a minute. God bless you. He just got married. Hey, all the good things. This is the most exciting night in the years that I've known Johnny Carson. He started me on this show. This is the most exciting night, and so help me. It's a great night. He was even nervous because he came to me and said, and I said, you are a powerhouse, and Frank, I love you.
Can I tell a story about
Sure.
what this man did to me once? You may have heard about this. It was a true story. This is a long time ago, long before Don got married. I was eating dinner in a restaurant in New York, and I was sitting with some friends, and he came over to the table, and he said, Frank, do me a favor, will you? He said, I'm sitting with a very pretty girl, and I'm trying to make out, you know, and he said, I told her I know you, and she really doesn't believe me. Would you stop by the table? I said, all right. I was just about finished. I was down to the espresso, and finally he went back, and I walked by the table, and I said, how are you, Don? Nice to see you. He said, can't you see I'm eating, Frank? What are you doing? And I went for the whole thing. I stood with my mouth open. He said, can't you see I'm trying to make out with this girl? He said, what are you doing bothering me?
You know,
He did.
when I started at Zardy's Jazzland, that was the first time I met Sinatra, Ed. It was, he came with Peggy Lee, right, Frank? Mm-hmm. Well, the first time actually was in Murray Franklin's in Miami Beach.
Yeah, the little joint.
And he came down there, and Murray Franklin's a heck of a guy. He's still with us, thank God. And the room sat about 20 people, and I broke the record. We had 21, and Roberta Sherwood. And Frank came over, and he sat in the front, and I was scared to death. As I am tonight. Many times I see him.
I had never seen him before. He killed me that night. Absolutely put me.
He should be scared with that act. You notice how he keeps moving on stage all the time?
Moving all around all the time.
God bless you, John. Look at the violin section. Why do they always look like the union didn't call? Violin players always look like, I gotta get an operation. Boy, the budget's big tonight, but you got the boss here.
That's right.
And to me, Frank Sinatra is the boss because, for one reason. Not because of the word boss, but because he stimulates excitement, he he stimulates our industry, and he makes you nervous.
You like that, don't you? You like to see me nervous. Get a boom bum. Look, I know you got.
Can I do my song now?
I know you got to cut because you got.
Go ahead, Frank. I'll lead you, Frank, to your song. Come on, Frank. Come on, we're going to walk on the boardwalk. Come on, Frank. Here we go.
Come back,
Let's
Don.
hear it
Sit
for the
down.
boss.
Thank you very much. He's insane. It seems we stood and talked like this once before. We looked at each other in the same way then. I can't remember where or when. The clothes you're wearing are the clothes that you wore. Smile, you're smiling, you were smiling then. I can't remember where or when. Some things that happen for the first time seem to be happening again. And so it seems that we have met once before, and then we laughed a lot before, also loved a lot before, but who knows?
How do you follow that, John?
Thought he would never leave.
And you didn't even think I knew him personally.
He's something else, isn't he? He really is. That was a kick. You know what I like? He starts that song. And they applause. We never get that. Do you ever notice when you go out and do a joke? These two drunks got on a streetcar, and the people don't go, yeah! They applaud
Well, you
the
know
song
what's
they
so great that in the world, and both being the same, the world to know that this guy has that great charisma, and to come on this show and have that kind of excitement. And for you, you've done this show for so many years, and I know you were delighted, and I am just thrilled to be part of it, really.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks for being here. We have Olivia Newton-John, David Jansen with us, so stay where you are. We'll be right back.